Assalamualaikum, my name is Taimur Sikandar and welcome back to the second video of user dashboard. And in this dashboard part 2 we are going to create our recycler views and the card views, or the using card views we are going to design our recycler views. And this design we have created in our previous tutorial with a scroll bar and a static top bar. So if you haven't watched that part 1, so please go and watch the part 1 first before moving further. So if you just want to learn about the recycler view, then this will be enough for you. You don't have to watch that video. And also if you want to get the code, or if you want to get these resources, everything, link is in the description. Let's get started with our recycler view. For the recycler view, it's not that difficult, but you have to follow this tutorial step by step without skipping anything. So the first thing is this is the recycler view we have used in our tutorial. So click on this and we have to assign its ID. Featured recycler, I'm going to name it featured recycler and click OK. Okay, ID is assigned. Go to the user dashboard.java file. Currently it is empty, but we first have to create the hooks recycler view. Featured recycler, and inside on create, let's create its hooks here. Right, find view by id r.id.featured recycler. Okay, we've created the hooks. To keep our design clean, I am not going to put everything in on create, so we have to create 3 functions for each recycler view. The first one is featured recycler, and that's it. Click on this bulb icon and create a method which will be outside this on create, and inside this we are going to deal with the recycler, which is the featured one. So again, write featured recycler dot set as fixed size and make it true. So what this line will do is, basically recycler contains lot of card views. Some are on the screen and some are off the screen. So recycler view will simply load only those views which are visible to users. That's why we are using the set as fixed. Then the next thing we have to use is to set the layout of recycler. So write featured recycler dot set layout manager, and in here we have to create new linear layout, because we are using linear layout. It's not necessary, you can select anyone, but I am using linear layout manager. And inside we have to pass the context where we are using this. Basically it's this means user dashboard. By default its orientation is vertical, but our card views are in horizontal position, so we have to mention them as well. So in here write linear layout. The first one is linear layout manager dot horizontal one, and comma pass false. That's it. We have set its orientation and we have set as fixed size to true. So far so good. We have created a hook and we have just created its function to put its featured recyclers elements inside it. Okay, so to get started with our recycler view, we have to first design this. So go to the app resource and inside the layout, right click new and create a new layout resource file and name it featured design or featured card design. You can change the root element in here, but we are going to change it inside the code. Click OK. Okay, in here we are in the split view and change, as I told you, the constraint layout to the card view. If in case this card view is not appearing on your screen, go to this and go to the design section by clicking here, and in here search for card view like we have here. But if this little downloadable icon is at the front of this, make sure your internet connection is on. Then you have to click on this icon and click OK to add its dependencies in the project. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, go back to the split section and inside this card view press Alt Control L to align the code. Okay, in here first thing is change its width to 160 dp and its height to 300 dp. Okay, in here we want to make its corners, corner radius to 2 dp, just a little round. Then we want to add elevation, but make sure this is not the simple elevation, but it's app card elevation. The simple elevation will not work, so use card elevation and it's 8 dp. Then we need to add some margin around the card and it's 10 dp. Okay, in this card view we are going to add all our elements, images and text and a rating bar inside another layout, which is the linear layout, and it will be match parent in height and width, and it will have some padding. This is the reason why I am adding everything inside this linear layout, because I want to add some extra space from the border of the card view. You will just get to know in a minute. So the first thing is the image, and it will be match parent in width and height will be 170 dp. It is too big, so change it to 140 dp of the image size. Then we need to add the image, and this one is, so this is not the exact images that will be appeared on our design, but we have to set them dynamically, so this is just for the design purpose. So currently you can see our image is not covering the whole area defined, so for that you have to set not crop to padding but scale type, and it should be crop center. So you can see our image is cropped to its defined width and height. We'll close this one. Then we need to add a text view, and this text view will be a heading. So wrap content width and height, then you define the text. So this is again a dummy text, so it can be anything. So let's make it McDonald's. Then add a text size 20. Text should be in SP, not in DP. Then we need to define its color. Text color will be color accent. And one more thing, okay, it is currently not appearing here because the linear layout by default is horizontal, and we make sure its orientation is vertical. So now you can see our text. So write the font family. The one I am using for the card views are the Bellu one, this one. If you don't know how to add these fonts, go to the design and in here search for font family, click on this caret icon, and at the below you can see we have more fonts. Then you can bulk of options to add. Okay, go back to the split view. Okay, you can see we have some extra space around this because of this linear layout, but it's a little less. Make it 15 dp. Yes. Okay, we have our text. Then the next thing is we want to add a rating bar. It will be wrap content width and height. Then its style, add a style, because by default rating bar is in large size. So before style, let me quickly add rating 3.5, and then to make it style, it should be small. So to change its style or the size of the rating bar, you should use style variable and choose the rating bar dot small. And at the bottom you can see we have a little rating bar and its rating is shown. Okay, close it. After this rating bar we have to define the last thing, which is again a text view, wrap content width and height. Then its text will be, so these are just 3 lines over here, so I just wrote it myself, so just for the design purpose, you know. Okay, that's it for description as well. So now we have to we want to change this images and this title or maybe the description dynamically for each card view. So we have to assign their IDs. So the image ID will be featured image. Let's copy this featured. Then this text view will be feature title, and if in case you want to change the description as well, and also we are going to use the rating, but for this tutorial I am not going to deal with the rating right now, and just assign ID to the description, feature description. Okay, these are the three things we are going to change dynamically for each card view, but currently we are not going to change this rating variable, this 3.5 over here. This is basically a float value, and I'll show you how you can change it if you want to do so. It's up to you. So this is the card. Our card is ready. So once we have designed our card view, then go to the Java, and in here we need to create a helper class which will contain these variables, these image views. So inside this helper class, as we need 2 to 3 adapter classes with their helper classes, so the best thing is to manage your bulk of classes. That's why I am going to create a new package, and it will be home adapter, and click OK. Inside the helper classes we have a home adapter classes. So in the previous onboarding screen, you guys know we have a slider adapter, so it's only one, so that's why I'm not putting it inside any folder. Inside this home adapter, right click new and create a new Java class. This will be featured helper class, and click OK. So this helper class will just have the variables. For the image we have to use int because it is in the resources, and the resources can be fetched using the int. So int image. Then we have 2 strings, title and also description. So now the next thing we want to create is a constructor. So to create a constructor, right click, go to the generate and click on this constructor, select all these 3 things and click OK. So it will automatically create a constructor with image, title and description. Inside this constructor we are currently setting these values. To get the values we need getters. So right click again, go to generate and click on this getter, select all these 3s and click OK. Okay, we have created getter setters. Basically setters are not created, but we are setting values inside our constructor. Okay, we have created our helper class, so close this one. Okay, now the main class is basically the adapter class, which will hold our design and also our code. So to create an adapter class, which is the main class, again go to the home adapter and right click new and create a new Java class. So in this, please follow step by step with me. It's very simple, but you have to do some practice first. Okay, so the home adapter is featured adapter and click OK. So it is again a simple class, so we have to extend this class with adapter, but you can see we have 2 adapters, Android.widget, but we are going to use the one with the Recyclerview. So choose this one with the Recyclerview, and it is showing error because we have to extend, we have to override some methods, but currently I am not going to override anything. Okay, the first thing is basically adapter, as I told you, holds the values and put that values to design, or you can see it will get the design and it will get the values, work as a bridge between values and design and set these values or to the design or design to the values. So the first thing is it's clear that we need both things in this adapter, design and values. So let's go for the values first. So values will be in array list, and this array list will be the type we have just created here the helper class, featured helper class. So mention featured helper class here, and this is just a variable. So featured helper class, so name it featured locations. So this is the variable. So to get these things, we are just going to create its constructor. So again, right click, go to the generate and click on its constructor. So we have this variable, we need it, click OK, and it's added its variable in here. So when we call this adapter class from our main activity, then we have to pass list or the data inside this constructor, and by this way we can get the data. So now we have received, or we have successfully take the data from our Java. The next thing is we need design. So for the design, go back here and we need to create public static class, and its name will be featured. You can name it adapter, let it be featured view holder. So this will basically hold the view. So this was the data, this will hold the data adapter, and the view holder will hold the view or the design of our recycler. So it should be extends with view holder recyclerview dot view holder. So create this class, and in here first of all solve this error. So click on this bulb icon and create constructor matching super. We need it, yes. Okay, we have created a constructor. The first class will have constructor and it contains values. Then we created a subclass in it which will hold the view, and it is extended by view holder. So in this class we need three things. The first one is image view, and name it image. Then we have two text views, title and description. Then inside this super item we have to create hooks. As you know, for the design, hooks are necessary. So we are going to get the design. So for the design, again we have to create the hooks. So this time it will be image is equal to item view dot find view by id, because we don't have any resource layout here, so we don't know where is the file. So the file will be received inside this item view when we call this featured view holder, because the basic thing is we will pass view to this. So currently we are just creating hooks, we are not setting or passing the view. So this is r dot id dot alt enter to get the value, r dot id dot featured image, and that's it. Press Ctrl D 2 times to duplicate, change this image to title, and it should also be featured title and featured description with description. So we have created hooks, and that's it for this class. Simply close this one, and now at the top in here we are using the adapter, but its adapter will be of type featured adapter dot featured view holder. So this means featured adapter will be the text, and design will be the featured view holder. Okay, now as we have created the constructor and also the class, again go back to this line, the error, and click on this bulb and press on the implement methods. Yes, we need to implement all these three methods, very simple, and click OK. Okay, class is at the bottom, no problem. Okay, we have three simple functions. The first one is by name, you can see is a view holder. As I told you, we have to pass the view which we have the elements, but these elements will get the value from which design. So we have a design is here, its name is featured card design. So we have to mention somewhere in this adapter class if we want to use that design. So it's again very simple. Inside the first one, which is saying the view holder, on create view holder, we have to write view and let it be view, because we have to pass this view to our featured view holder. You can see featured view holder, the one we have created, is receiving this view over here. So we have to pass this view, which is equal to layout inflator dot from, this is parent dot get context, and outside this bracket write inflate, and now we have to pass the layout we have created, r dot layout dot featured card design. And the next thing is we have to pass, sorry, it's parent, and also should be false. That's it. So attached to root will be false, and this parent is basically a view group which is at here. So that's it for the view. Now we have to pass it to featured view folder, which is featured view folder. Featured view folder is equal to new featured view folder, and inside we have to pass the view. So this is basically just we have created an instance of the class which is here is equal to, and we pass this view. Now we have to return it featured view folder and simply return this. We have created a simple view which is pointing to this design, and we have passed this design in featured view folder and return it. Very simple. Okay, now we have our code inside our array list and in featured adapter constructor. Then we have in the on create view holder, we have that view, and we set that view to these variables and create hooks. Now we have to bind. So this is the function, this is the main function which is going to bind the design and the code. So to bind that, this is a simple way. As inside the app, you can see we have created a helper class which is featured helper class. So featured helper class will contain all the elements, so we can simply call that featured helper class is equal to we are going to call that array which is featured locations dot get, because we want to assign these elements, these values which contain image, text, a title and description on this position each time. So every time it depends basically on the number of elements we are going to use. Okay, once we have passed this position, then we have to set those elements. So you can see we have this view holder which contain that view, so we just have to write holder dot. Now you can see we have these three things: image, title and description. So the first thing is image dot set image resource. So it's image, so we have to set image resource. So that image resource will be fetched from that helper class. So it is featured helper class dot get image. So at this position it may be 0. At 0 position we have that image, so we are going to pass it to this folder and it will automatically display on the design. So Control D 2 times. The first one is title, then we have description, then we need get title, and also we need to get description. So it's not image resource, it's set text, copy and paste. That's it. So this is how simple an adapter was. So that's it for this class, and that's it for the featured adapter. Close this one, and also the design was ready, so close this one as well. Go to the .java file, and in here, as I told you, we have set it our featured recycler basic things. So the first thing is we have to pass the array to our design or to the adapter. So we have to first create an array, just array list, and its type will be featured helper class, and name it featured locations, which will be equal to new array list. And that's it. We have created a simple array list with featured locations name. Okay, after creating the array list, we have to write featured locations dot add. To add values inside this array, we have to write dot add, and inside we create new constructor each time of the helper class, which is featured helper class. And inside you can see we have to pass image, title and description. So the image is our dot, images are in the drawable, so drawable dot McDonald's image. Then we have to pass the title here, and then we have to pass the description. Currently I am adding the dummy description and put semicolon at the end. So to duplicate it, press Ctrl D 2 times and change the image to city1. These are basically the dummy images. Okay, we have created our array list at the top. So after that we have to pass this array to our adapter, as I told you. So the next thing we need here is go to the global variables and declare it at the top. Now we can simply write adapter is equal to new, and this adapter was featured adapter, and in that adapter, as I told you, we have to pass that array list in here, and it is asking inside the constructor. So this one is the featured locations, and that's it. So this is the array list we have created at the top, and we passed it to this. So we have created our adapter. Now the last thing is simply set this featured recycler dot set adapter, and we have to set this adapter at here. That's it. Let's find out the featured adapter, and it's here. The third function was the get item count, and we are returning it 0, but it is not 0. So we just have to return featured locations dot size. So that's it. Now run our application again. Okay, after splash screen you can see we have our card views, and there we go, our design is ready. But the problem is we have this little bottom thing at the border. So let's fix this in the design. Go to the resource and open the layout. This is the user dashboard, and go to the split view and click on this. We have the height here is 280, and we assign the height to 300 inside our design. So let's run it again. Okay, now this time you can see our cards are appearing full at the bottom, but we cannot see any shadow beneath them because of the margin. So we can fix this. This is not an issue. So now we have to design the below cards, the second one and the third one, but this time I am just going to design these cards and let you guys to create this recycler views and adapters. You just have to copy this code and paste it again. You just have to change these variables for these categories or for this design. So to design these cards, let's go back to the layout, right click new and create a new resource file. This time it's for the most viewed card design and click OK. Again switch back to the split view. Okay, now let's change this constraint layout to the card view, and this time the card view will be press Alt Ctrl L to align the lines. This card view will hold not the linear but the relative layout, 300 dp, and its height will be 150 dp. And inside this relative layout we also have to assign some padding, as we have assigned in our previous design. It will be 10 dp, and for the card let's add card corner radius 2 dp, and its card elevation will be 8 dp. Okay, inside this relative layout we have to create the image view, which will be 100 dp, and its height will be 150 dp. You can see over here. Then for the demo, let's again add this McDonald's icon, and to fit, go for the scale type and make it center crop. You can see the design, the image is currently covering it. Close this one. Now after the, but as we are using the relative layout, so we need to assign the IDs. ID will be, so for the most viewed I am going to use ms underscore image. After the image we need to add the text view, which will be wrap content, and the text is going to again and this will be placed to right off to the right side of the image. Which image? Which is ms underscore image. Now you can see the design. Also we need to add some margin to its left because it's completely attached with the image. So let's add 10 dp. Then add its text size. It will be 20 dp, and again the font family we are going to use is the one we have already used. Close this one. Okay, then we have to use the rating, and for the rating bar again it's wrap content, width and height. Change its style to the small one as we have done in the previous videos. Then it will be below. We again have to assign the ID to this text view, and it will be most viewed. So it's not ms, it's mv, and in here mv most viewed underscore title, and here it will be mv. Okay, it's the rating bar will be below this title, mv title, and it will be to right of the image. Then again we have to assign the margin left to 10 dp and set its rating to maybe 4 this time, and close it. We have to assign its ID, most viewed rating, and the last thing is the text view, which is the description one. Wrap content, width and height, and the text will be again the dummy one. So now we want to place it below to the rating one and to right of the image. Then we need to add its padding to make some gap, just 10 dp. Okay, so now this card view is again ready. We have to assign its ID as well to fetch this description inside our most viewed adapter. Closing tag is missing. So that's it for this design. Let's close it. And now we again go to the layout, right click new and create a new resource file which will be for the categories. Categories card design and click OK. Again go to the split view, change this constraint layout to card view, Alt Control L, align the lines, and in here add card corner radius. This time it will be 5 dp. Then add elevation, which is card elevation, and 8 dp. Inside this time we are going to use the relative layout again, and it will be match parent width and height, and it will have some padding of 15 dp. Again we have to set its width and height to 50 dp in width and 150 dp in height. So now you can see this shadow over here. Okay, for the relative layout, that's it. And inside this relative layout we just need two things. The first one is the text view with wrap content width and height. Text will be, let's suppose, it will be the restaurant, and we need to assign text size to TSP, not DP. Then the font family will be same for all of them. So the next thing we want to add is image view, which will be 110 dp and its height will be 110. Let's set its source. Let's add a dummy image over here, and this time this will be at the right side of its parent, align parent right to, and again it will be the bottom at the lower bottom, so set align parent bottom true. So that's it. We have to assign this relative layout a background, and the background is going to be it can be a gradient and it can also be a simple color. So for now let it be some simple color, which we have some maybe card 1 or maybe card 2. We forgot to add the margin here, and it will be 12 dp approximately. So we have designed these two card views, and also if you want to change or if you want to add a gradient in here, I can show you how to add a gradient. So inside the adapter, go to the featured adapter we already created, and inside where we are binding the things, you can see we are setting this image, set image resource title to set text. We can do anything with this as we can do in any activity. So let's suppose we have this relative layout and its ID is a gradient color. This is basically a relative layout and it is a gradient color. So what we want to do is we want to add gradient color to each differently. So what we can do is, when we get this relative layout in here, we will simply set it like this way: description dot set background, this one, and it is it is a type of drawable background. So I'm going to show you how you can create a gradient drawable. When you write it like that, you have to go to the user dashboard, and in here you cannot pass directly a gradient from some drawables, etc. So for that you have to create a drawable. So this is what I am going to show you. So you can add it by yourself, or you can get this code from the description below. So add a gradient, it's very simple. Simply write gradient, and this time it's a gradient drawable. Assign its name, maybe gradient1 for the first one is equal to new gradient drawable, and in here we have to pass its orientation of that gradient. So write gradient drawable dot, we have to define its orientation dot left to right, top to bottom, as our design is in horizontal position. So I suggest you to use left to right or right to left, it's up to you. So after orientation we simply have to pass a color, which is in the int, and in here we have to pass two colors, the first one and the second one. In the coding side you don't have to use hash or @ for the color, but instead you have to use 0, then X, and then its color. So we also have to pass its opacity with 00 or FF at the start, then some color like EFF 400, something like that, and then comma 0x, again FF EFF 600, and at the end put semicolon. We have a mistake here, not inside these brackets but inside this, outside these square brackets we have to create a curly brackets, and we have to pass this color inside these curly brackets. So by this way we can create a gradient, and we can put this gradient in here where we are going to assign that gradients. So that's it for this tutorial. You can again get these videos, you can get this links. Okay, so let me just run the application, and I have just created all these recycler views, and also that I added the gradient. So let me show you. As you can see on the screen, I have created these most viewed cards and also all featured, and then at the bottom you can see I have created these categories, multiple categories, multiple images. So we can simply place these categories at the top and also change them from top to bottom, because we have created these all designs in sections. So if you want to change this design, let me quickly show you. Go to the layout, and in here open this dashboard, go to the split view. Let me close all the sections first. And there we go. Inside this scroll view we have these sections. So if you want to place this featured below this most viewed, you can just simply cut it and paste it at the top of this, because I have used the linear layout, so we can change it in any direction. And also if we change our design, go to the design section, and in here change it to the small screen, and you can see the design is perfectly fitted, and also we can scroll it to its bottom. So that's it for this tutorial. This design is still responsive. You can also get this design from the link in the description. If you learned something new, please like the video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, because we are going to complete this series. Thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.